Hey guys. Hey Danny Dave. Hey Westside. Hey Richard. Hey Moosox. How is everybody? What am I doing? Man, silver's up over 42 bucks now. 42.18. Still going up. Gold's at 36.43. Well, 3,643. Platinum 1402 and palladium 1218. Worried about the world? The world will be fine. The people might be screwed, but the world itself will be fine. Exactly. It's like the late, great George Carlin once said, eventually the world is just going to shake us off like a bad case of fleas. Hey, Danny Dave. So for anybody who was on last night or saw the replay, we're doing tonight because we just did not have much of a turnout at all last night. So if we have a good turnout tonight, I'm actually kind of thinking about trying Fridays. Because the last time we rescheduled it on a Friday, it actually did pretty decent. We got 4 on right now. Hopefully we'll get a few more soon. Either way, we're doing it tonight, so. Well, it's showing 4 on my side. Now it's showing 5. Like I said, either way, the stream is happening tonight. All good. Yeah, I'm just, trying to figure out a way to maximize turnout. It's pretty much what it boils down to. Hello, hello. I think you're a new name. Jetback 999. I don't remember seeing you before, so welcome. If you have been here before and I'm just not remembering it, welcome back. Richard sent you back. Well, happy to have you. All right, we are up to 6. And I appreciate it. Gonna start working on getting your other large flat rate box filled up. Keep the deals going. I always try to. If anybody ever wonders, I do try and always find the stuff that I know you guys are looking for. It's just a lot of stuff is getting a lot harder to find. And given that I don't have the ability to travel around to, coin shows and stuff, it does limit my resources on being able to get stuff. It definitely is, especially on certain things. Like, you guys rarely see peace dollars in my sales because the few times that I do actually find some, I have one guy that buys them all before they ever make it to a sale. I have not gotten any word on the consignment sale yet. I know it's happening, I just don't know when. The person has not emailed me yet or texted me yet. If I don't hear from him in like the next week, I'll message him because it probably means he forgot. And yeah, I think people are also just, and I know it partially has to do with the tariffs because prices on everything are going up, but I think people are getting more afraid to spend money. But, I mean, honestly, pretty soon here, we might be getting to a point where you're better off having your money locked up in coins and metals and stuff like that instead of having it as cash. Because if we reach a point of hyperinflation, then all that stuff is going to keep its value, whereas the almighty dollar is going to have no value. Like, we've been wanting to make a real effort to rebuild our collection. We just don't have the money for it. Things are super tight for us right now. Yeah, when the big recession hit, yeah, that did happen for sure. Or the banks run out of cash. Back when things were more primarily cash based, and the banks would run out of cash on hand. The only thing, I'm sure everybody on this channel already knows this, I would hope, but the only thing that you ever need to know about banks is if everybody was to withdraw, like say for example Chase, which is probably the biggest bank system in the US. If every one of Chase's customers suddenly decided that they were going to all withdraw all their money all at the same time, Chase would be able to cover maybe 60% of it, and everybody else would be screwed. And Chase would be bankrupt, and they would be gone. So banks are dependent on people not taking their money out. It couldn't happen. All right, so it's September 12th, 2025, 5:55 p.m. Everybody write down a note saying that Doug said it couldn't happen. We'll let those be some famous last words. Oh, the bankrupt part, yes. Payout, no. Yeah, no, they would not be able to. And they would never be able to come up with it enough to be able to ever pay off the rest of the people. All right, I'm going to give it 4 minutes, then we'll get going. Oh, yeah, the FDIC is, it's not backed by anything anymore. That's the problem. As soon as you get to a point where, your money is only backed by a promise, it's all fine and good so long as the people keep the promise, As soon as they decide they're not keeping the promise anymore, now your money is worth nothing. So that's why it's good to always have at least a portion of your money locked up into something real. Something with real value. And heck, if nothing else, you know, pay attention to what the strongest currencies are and have some of your money converted over into that currency. Basically as a savings. So you just have a stack of, like, you know, say if it's like the euro or the Swiss franc or something, you know, you just have a stack of those notes in a, you know, in a box somewhere. So that way, if the dollar does plummet, you've still got those. And then you can do the conversion on it and go from there. Just remember, you're a Zimbabwe trillionaire. Indeed. Coins are on Doug tonight. Everybody's purchases are on the Zimbabwe trillionaire tonight. Just kidding. All right, 2 more minutes, then we're getting going. I'll go to get the beginning stuff out the way. Payment, all right. Payments are made via PayPal to cheapskatecoins@gmail.com and using goods and services only, please. We also have Cash App using the same email, cheapskatecoins@gmail.com. If you use Cash App, it will say Louis Gutierrez. That's me. You're in the right place. Shipping is $6 to $23. $6 being the little purple bubble mailers, $23 being a large flat rate box. That might be going up. The large flat rates, the last one that I sent out was like 27 something, so those might have gone up. I will keep you guys posted on that. And then if you want your package sent registered, there's an additional $45 charge on top of that. It is the only way you can ensure coins through the mail. And keep in mind, if you do have it sent registered, you will have to sign for it when it arrives. If you're new, you can't get stuff tonight. You just have to email me by the end of the night. Email has to have your personal info, shipping info, channel name, which payment method you're going to use, and what email you use for that payment method for invoicing purposes. If I don't get that email, you will not get anything, and I never ship without payment. And be sure that you check the rest of our rules and policies down in the description below. They are posted up on there every week. Here's our Facebook link. Tonight's lot list is on there. It is the top post. I do put the lot list on there every night we have a sale. We also have a mailing list. If you want to be on the mailing list, shoot me an email, cheapskatecoins@gmail.com, and say, add me to the mailing list. If you're on the mailing list, you will get the lot list. Lately, it's been the day before every sale. But as soon as you do get the email, then you have the ability to pre-purchase items. I do not charge for pre-purchases right away. I wait until the night of the sale and invoice everybody together. Just keep in mind that it is first come, first served, just like during the sale. So if if that hits your email and you see something you want, don't wait, jump on it. Moose may be shaking for toaster crumbs tonight. Look, the list looked pretty good. I try and make every list decent. All right. So if anybody was hoping, all the Cuba coins went in pre-sale, just FYI. So all 4 of the Cuba coins are gone. And then all the 1954s and 55s from the wheat cents are gone. Those went in pre-sale as well. Franklin $half went in pre-sale. And the 1939 10-cent Canada went in pre-sale. So that was our pre-sales for the week. But we are kicking off, as always, with world banknotes. Starting off with a 2014 100 Rial Cambodia. Uncirculated for $2. Oop, I forgot to arrange my screen here. Give me 1 second. And that goes there, that goes there. Okay, that's better. Anybody at $2? Oh, sorry, didn't mean to just whack the camera. Always a trick trying to balance the light. Especially when it reflects on there. Let's do that. All right, moving on. Next up is a 2008 219 1 Tagrog from Mongolia. Uncirculated for $2. I don't know if that qualifies as a fancy serial number, not having the 222 in there. But this one is going to Richard Gratzer. All right. Next up is the 1993 20 Tagrog from Mongolia. Uncirculated $2. And going to Richard Ratzer. All right, then got one more from Mongolia tonight. It is the 2016 20 Tagrog. Uncirculated $2. And going to Richard Gratzer. All right, next up, this one I am fairly certain is actually still monetized. It's a 2018 10 dinar from Macedonia. This is a polymer note, uncirculated for $4. So if you were to Find yourself in Macedonia, here you'd have 10 dinars to spend. Surprised we haven't switched over to polymer notes. It lasts so much longer. Just got back from there. Kind of curious. Let's see. See, conversion rate would be 19 cents. Look out. 10 dinars is 19 American cents. All right, moving on. Next up, 2018 2 Bolivars, Venezuela, uncirculated for $2. Got the parrot on one side, and then the portrait version of the obverse. Still suffering for getting that last 20 Bobo, but you got, hey, that's all that matters. And just the melt value alone from when you paid for it till now is probably already gone up. What, almost $10? All right, moving on. Might even be more than that. Next up is a 2017 1 rupee from India. Uncirculated for $2. Another one that's, I'm almost positive, is still monetized. So if you had this and you're in India, you could buy, like, I don't know, buy a loaf of bread or something. I wonder if they'll qualify as a fancy since it has 0, 1, 2, 3. I don't know. All right, moving on. Next up is 1998 1,000 rubles from Belarus. Uncirculated for $2. Not the most interesting design in the world, but very colorful. All right, moving on to the 2021 5 Naira from Nigeria. This is another polymer note. Another still monetized note. You can still spend this in Nigeria. It's going for $4. All right, moving on. And the last banknote is a 1985 10 dirhams Morocco. Going for $2. This one's not uncirculated. It does have a fold right there. So it's still like an AU-ish. If anybody wants a bundle for all the banknotes, I'll do a bundle for you. India going to Doug. You got it, sir. All right, moving on. If anybody decides you want any of those others, let me know. Or if you want to do a bundle on them, let me know. And we are straight into coinage. Silver World coins. All right, we are starting off in Mexico tonight. And starting off with a really nice one. It's old, it's rare. It is just all in all a very cool coin. This is the 1900 ZS. 20 centavos, Mexico. It is 0.9027 silver. In a VF, only 97,000 of these were minted. And it's going for $18. And it is going to Richard. Congrats, sir. So there's your ZS mint mark. Next up is a 1945 50 centavo. $72% silver, extremely fine, $14. Got a bit of toning going on. And this one's going to Richard. All right. All right, so these next bit of coins, these are the 10% silver 1 pesos. With the new silver prices, the silver melt alone on these is $2.17. For anybody who hasn't looked up into these as of late. How many coins would it take to fill a large box? I mean, it varies. It depends on what else you get. Because, like, if you buy bulk stuff or you buy, like, an album or, you know, those are all things that alter the count. If it was just individual coins, it would be a really, really, really lot. All right, so I am doing all but 3 of these are going to be $3 a piece. So you're getting them at less than $1 over melt. Kicking off with the 57 VF toned. I was torn between VF or EF on this one, but I wanted to play it safe, so I went VF. Going for $3. So again, 84 cents over melt. And this one's going to Richard Kratzer. All right, and then we got the 1958 VF for $3. Going to Richard Kratzer. And then the 1959 VF $3. Going to Richard Kratzer. And 1960 VF $3. Richard been happy. Going to Richard. Now, Richard just understands that if you sit on these things for a year, with the way silver prices are going, they're probably going to be over $3 melt. All right, next up. This is one of the 3 that is not $3. This is the 1961, but it is an EF, so it's going for $4. And going to Richard. Ah. All right, and then 1962 VF $3. Going to Richard. Gratz. I'm predicting $100 by the end of next year. In 1963. Think it'll happen by summer? Going for $3. To Richard. Maybe. It might happen that fast. We'll see. All right, I'm going to have to fix those in a minute. Yeah, and with it being a critical mineral now, that's going to drive the price up more. And gold was also, I thought gold already was, but apparently not. So gold was also declared a critical mineral last month as well. Next up, 64 VF $3. Going to Richard. All right. And then we've got the 66. This one's an EF, so it's $4. Going to Richard. All right, and then the last of Mexico is 1967, but this one is an AU, so it's going for $5. You don't see them looking like that often. And going to Richard. Kratzer. Richard just clean sweeped Mexico completely. I gotta rubber band these all back together real fast. Give me a sec. Or they're gonna be falling all over the place. Damn it. All right. Next up, we got one coin from Panama. It is a 1947 1/10 Balboa. 90% silver, extremely fine, $10. I got a bunch more, Richard, if you want more of them. I just haven't labeled them yet. I'll give them to you at a blind $3 each. Opportunity to buy most of the Canadian typeset for a fraction of what they should have gone for. All AU mid-state. Nice. How many? Let me count them real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 22. Like I said, there's just none of them are labeled. So you would just be getting them unlabeled. Okay. Cool. Saves me some work. Give 3 of them to Doug. Alright, I will give 3 random ones to Doug. So that's 22 unlabeled. 10% silver, Mexico, 1 pesos. So that'd be $66 for 22 of them. And then 3 cents to Doug. Make sure I got that note on there. So I just took the 3 off the top to go to Doug. I don't know what dates they are or anything. But there you go. There was one of them that was labeled. Out of all those, it's a 1964. All right, anybody on to Panama? Back up to the coin that we're actually on. 1947 Panama. Let me go scope on this one so you guys can see it better. Gift 2 to Jet. Are you going to pay his shipping? Because he doesn't have a package. All right, you got it. So, Jet, I'm going to need your shipping info. Send me an email, cheapskatecoins@gmail.com, so I know where to ship these. 3, not 2. You got it. And he's covering your shipping, so if you get anything else up to like 5-6 ounces, or your shipping's already covered. Ready. And again, they're not going to be labeled. That was out of the unlabeled ones. All right, let me... So it's 3 to Doug and 3 to Jet. All right. Got it. All right. Last call on the Panama now. So keep getting distracted from 1947 1/10 Balboa. It's 90% silver, extremely fine. $10. And going to Jet. All right, so Jet, make sure you include in your email which payment method you're going to use. If you're going to do PayPal or Cash App, and what email you use for, so I can invoice you for that. All right, next up is Australia. Indeed. And Australia, oh, I still need the scope. Australia, we're actually kicking off with a key date. It is the 1923 3 pence. Only 815,000 of these were ever made. It is one of the key dates to the series. It is the key date to the King George the Sixth or Fifth portion of the series. Or no, it's the second highest key date. Yeah, I think there was one other one that's higher, that's more rare than this one. But anybody. So it is definitely a tougher date to fill. All right, moving on. Thought sure somebody would have wanted that. Guess not. Next up, 1934 3 pence. 925 sterling. This one is in a fine at $6. All right, moving on. Next up is 1942D. This one is a beautiful BU. Going for $10. Show this on the other camera real quick, since that one never really likes to show it very well. That way you can actually see that cartwheel action. Ooh. Even hard on that one because it's glaring out the camera. It's not wanting to show it. All right, moving on. All right, last of the 3 pences, 1943. This one's an AU for $8. And the love for Australia tonight. All right, moving on. Tell you what, here's one of my first big deals for the night. I will do all 4 of the 3 pences. I'll do it for $37 for all 4 of them. That knocks off $12. Anybody? Man, really nobody wants Australia tonight. All right. All right, and then next up, oh, Richard's coming in late for that deal. You got it, sir. So that makes that one 18. That makes that one 5. That makes that one 8. And 5. Alrighty. Congrats, sir. Alright, now we're on to 6 pences with another key date. This is the 1918. 1918 in good. 915,000 minted. A bunch of them were melted. This one is $50. I want to show you guys something on this one real fast. Check this out. 1918. 950,000 minted. At a VF, you're already at $200. At an EF, it jumps to $850. Mint State 60, you're looking at $3,500, and a Mint State 63, you're already up to $8,000. That is nuts. And you'll notice if you look over here, that's the lowest mintage of any of the years. So anybody at 50 bucks for the 1918 key date. All right, moving on. Then we have one other sixpence tonight. It is a 1942 DBU. Hey, Bo. And this one's going for 20 bucks. Oh, if that thing looked like this, it would have been getting sent into graded to be graded to find out the exact grade. Ooh, hope you feel better soon, man. But I'll give you guys another deal. See, it would have been 70. I'll tell you what. I'll do a flat 50 bucks for both. Keeping in mind, the original list price on this one is 50 bucks. Or the price I have on this one was just 50 bucks. So you're basically getting buy one, get one free. And Richard is taking that deal. Gratzer. So I'm going to just drop that one to 30 so the math works out. So you got 30 and 20. All right. Grats and grats. Which brings us to the 1917 shilling. 925 sterling silver and fine 12 bucks. It's the 1917 M, so that's the Australia mint. And going to Richard Gratzer. All right, and last coin from Australia is a 1944 florin. Sterling silver AU, 22 bucks. What is just a melt on these things right now? Let me see something real quick. With the new higher silver prices, current melt on these right now is $14.21 melt. Anybody? And going to Richard. So now Richard has clean sweeped the Australia and Mexico. Congrats, sir. All right, next up, we got one coin from France. And it is the 1938 10 franc. 68% silver, VF, 14 bucks. We're getting close to the first of our 3 showcase coins for tonight. Which I'm actually amazed made it through pre-sale. Alright, moving on to Switzerland. It's actually the first coin that didn't sell. First up from Switzerland is 1912 1 franc. 83.5% silver, extremely fine, 10 bucks. Art on a lot of the France stuff is awesome. Especially the older stuff. Go to Richard. Next up is 1944 1 franc. This one's in a VF for 8. An argument could be made on this one for an EF, but I don't know. There was just something about it, and I wanted to play it safe. So I put it as a VF. Better to be low than high, right? I don't know. What do you guys think? What would you put it as? Yeah, like I said, there's something about it kept me from putting it over to the EF. So I got it as the VF. West side says EF. All right, last call on this one. Over $8. Is that armpit hair? Don't judge. All right, moving on. To the 1960 1 franc VF for $8. All right, moving on. And the last one from Switzerland, 1953 5 franc. Extremely fine. It's got some cool toning on it. And going for $22. That is very cool toning. Anybody? All right. Moving on. All right, next up we got one coin from New Zealand. It is a 1937 shilling. 50% silver, extremely fine. Only 890,000 were minted, and it is going for $12. Anybody? All right, moving on. Next up, got a couple from Venezuela. We haven't had much from Venezuela lately. First one is a 1948 10 centimos. 83.5 silver. It is a VF and $3. Anybody? Gone soon will be the days that you'll be able to get any silver coin for $3. And going to Doug. Congrats, Doug. All right, and then we got the 1935 One Boulevard. 83.5 silver, VF, $8. Go to Moose Sox. Congrats, sir. Learn how to type. There we go. And that brings us to the first of our showcase coins. And this is the oldest coin on the list for tonight. Check this out, guys. This is a 1694 3-cruiser from the Austrian state of Tyrol. Minted at the Hall Mint. It is silver and it is AU. It is graded and attributed by Mr. Rick Snow. And it is $150. And it is going to Richard. Congrats, sir. I just want to show this thing close up so people can see it first. Oh, there we go. There's right side up. Check that out. And there's your date, 1694. So, congrats to Richard. All right, we got one Canada coin because the other one went in pre-sale. It is the 1949, 25 cents. Precursor to the Screaming Chicken. No, that was Germany, not Austria. Germany had the Screaming Chicken. It's 80% silver in a VF for $8. So current melt on Canadian dimes or Canadian quarters is right now. Let's see. 1949, 25 cent Canada. Just the current melt value on 80% silver Canadian quarters right now is $6.34. So you're getting this one for less than $2 over melt. Nothing wrong with that. Is he back in town yet? Yeah, he's in town for another like week and a half. And then he's heading out again for another show. All right, moving on. All right, next up, we got one coin from the Netherlands. It is a 1923, one gulden. 72% silver, VF, 15 bucks. No, we did not get a chance to talk about any of that. Yeah, I rarely get the world coin albums. They are tough to find. That's why I just go with the 2x2 pages and 3-ring binders. Plus it's cheaper. All right, moving on. To Britain. We got 3 coins from Britain tonight. First one is 1941 3 pence BU, 18 bucks. It's got some cool toning starting on there. And it's from the cross in the shield reverse design, which was not used for all that often, or for all that long. Hang on a sec. I just heard my door open and close, and Angela's in bed, so I'll be right back. Alright, well, nobody around. So, but there are kids playing, so I'm guessing One of them probably just slammed something off the door. Alrighty. I was like getting ready to have to grab my 12 gauge. Like, who the hell's in my apartment? Alright, back to the coin at hand. Alright, last call, 18 bucks on this one. Alright, moving on. To a 1930 Florin. $50 silver in a VF for 12 bucks. Anybody? Alright, moving on. And the last one from Britain. 1941 half crown. Get off there. Hey. I get that little piece of schmutz out of there. Get out. There we go. That is a good looking half crown right there. The gold page of the typeset. Just, are you talking about just the page, not just the empty page? I wonder if that's one of them I have. Hang on a sec, I'm curious now. I have a Dansko cover page, or the thing that the album slides into that's got a bunch of random empty pages in it. Ugh. You just made me curious if that was one of the pages in here. Let's see, that's from quarters. $50. Lincoln cent, Lincoln cent. Sacagawea page. And a Kennedy $50 page. Nope. Yeah, I've had this sitting around here for a while because nobody's wanted it. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 various pages. And it's in one of the Dansko slip cases. If anybody wants to make me an offer on these, feel free. All 7 pages in the little slipcase that go into Dansko's. $10. I'll give it to you for $10. Why not? That is going to Richard for $10. All right, last call on that beautiful AU half crown. All right, moving on. Next up, got 2 coins from the USA Philippines. First one is a 1944 Denver 10 centavo, 75% silver AU for $6. Anybody? All right. And then we got the 44S 50 centavo. EF for $12. All right, moving on. All right, next 2 items up are very cool. (1863) Liberty Army and Navy Civil War token in VF. Graded by Mr. Rick Snow. Going for $45. Very nice piece for anybody who likes collecting the Civil War tokens. Going to Moose Socks. And the 50 centavo USA Philippines is going to Doug. You got it, sir. I've got a whole book on these things. Like specifically just on these. And then 1863 Liberty Cap Our Lord. Civil War token. VF graded by Rick Snow, 45 bucks. Or our card. Going to Moose Socks. Gratzer. Yeah, the one I've got. I think might be in the storage right now. Nope. Oh, here it is. Here is the one I have. It's Patriotic Civil War Tokens by George and Melvin Fold. And there's a lot in here. So it gives like a lot of the different various references, photos, many lists. And it is a grand total of 435 pages. It's got, if you look at me in the camera for a sec, it's got a big fold out page. Pretty cool. Yeah, definitely there is a lot of information about Civil War tokens out there. For sure. I know you're catnip. Alright. Moving on. Whoa. Ah, what's going on? Crap. Hang on. My thing just got screwed up. And I gotta fix it real quick now. Give me a sec. I gotta repair my spreadsheet real quick. And I gotta pull out that coin that Doug bought, the 50 centavo. Almost done. Alrighty. Leaving. You're going to miss the other showcase coins. Alright, next up, we have one U.S. large cent tonight. It is an 1853 braided hair in VG. It does have that ding right there, so because of that, I have it priced as an about good at $10. And that is going to Dandy Dave. Congrats, sir. All right. Next up, we got Lincoln Wheat Cents. First couple are graded by Mr. Rick Snow. Technically, they were all graded by him because I bought them all from him. But the first two are actually in his holders. Got 1938 Denver. Uncirculated red. Going for $12. Going to West Side. There's your reverse, by the way. I almost got an uncirculated red-brown 1864 Indian from him. But somebody else just beat me to it. And they had sold it right before I got there. Next up is 1939 Plain Dates. BU red in the Rick Snow holder. And again, going for $12. Yeah, these things are gorgeous. There's something about a beautiful uncirculated red wheat cent that's just awesome. Wow, nobody wants that. BU red and in a Rick Snow holder, graded by Rick Snow, and nobody wants it. All right. Alright, oh, Richard's coming in late on it. You got it, sir. All right, so as I said in the beginning, the 54s and 55s all went in pre-sale. So next up is 1956 plain dates Jim BU Red. Going for $6. So again, these might not be in Rick Snow holders, but I bought these from Rick. And he's the one that called them Jim BUs. So you have his approval on these as being Jim as well. Not that you really need it. I mean, look at that. All right. Next is 1956 Denver. Be red. I'm just going to show these all real fast and just let me know which ones, if any, that you guys want. There's 57 plain date BU red, $6. 57 Denver, $6. Jim BU red. $58 BU red, $6. And 58 Denver. BU red, $6. Or Jim BU red. So you got 58, 58 Denver, 57, 57 Denver, and 56 and 56 Denver. Anybody wants all 6? I'll do all 6 for 30. Saves you $6. It drops them all to $5 a piece if you get all 6. And then our next lot is our next showcase item. All right, moving on. All right, I'll keep an eye out for that email. Sorry it took me a minute to see that message if you're still there. All right, next up is our next showcase item for tonight. And it is an 1856 silver 3 cent, 90% silver, extremely fine. Go for $125. Check that out. How often do you guys see them looking like that? Anybody? Lowest I could go, Richard, would be 110. That would be the absolute lowest I could go. All right, going to Richard for 110. Kratzer. Next up is another 3-center, but it is one of the nickel. It is the 1866. It does have the damage to the obverse, and because of that, I have it priced as an about good at 15 bucks. I could go as low as 10 on this one if anybody wanted it for 10. Because of that damage. If that damage wouldn't have been there, this would have been like a $60 coin. Kind of sucks. Anyone want to give it a home for 10 bucks? Make it a gift to a kid or something? Yeah. All right, moving on. Botch nose job. All right, next one is an 1841 seated Liberty dime in pour. Yeah, anybody wanted to send this in to get it graded, you might actually get a low ball. You might get that coveted pour one. Because there is nothing left on the back. Fubar. Tell you what, anybody wants both of these? I'll do the 3 center and the dime. I'll do both for 12 bucks. If anybody wants both. Ah. Go back. Hello, spider. I had a spider crawling on my wall. Anybody on both? Or either one individual. 12 bucks if you get both. That makes them basically $6 each. All right. Moving on. Been future Christmas ornaments. All right, Doug's jumping in on that deal right at the end. All right. Which brings us to the last of our showcase items. This is another key date. 1897S Barber Quarter. PCGS AG3. This is one of the, if not the key date of the series. And it's going for 85 bucks. Let me get you some stats on these. Barber 97S. All right, 97S original mintage 50 or 542,229. To get it in a good 6, you're already at 160 bucks. BG10 275, a fine 350. If you want a decent VF, you're looking at about $1,000. If you want EFs, you're looking over $1,000. AUs, you're looking upwards of about 1,500. If you want unks, you are looking at well over 2,000. If you want high grade, you're looking much higher than that. Highest grade known is a 68 at $75,000. So 85 bucks on this one. And it's already graded. You don't even have to worry about paying the $45 to get it graded. So you just saved yourself 45 bucks right there. And going to Richard. Gratzer. All right, next up is the 2000 Silver-Proof State Quarter set. So you got Virginia, South Carolina, Maryland, oops, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts. All 90% silver proofs. For 50 bucks for the set. So if you get the full set, it saves you 10 bucks. It makes them 10 bucks each instead of 12. So just the melt value alone on these right now is $7.63. Counted them all up. Man, nice. Anybody? All right, moving on. All right, last lot of the night. Is the 1986 Statue of Liberty commemorative $50 Annex Proof 69 decam. Going for 10 bucks. You're getting it for less than the price it would take to get it graded. And going to Richard. Gratzer. All right, recap. You guys are $253 away from a sellout. All right, you got banknotes. The 2018 10 dinar Macedonia polymer note. The 2018 2 Bolivar Venezuela. The 1998 1,000 ruble Belarus. The 2021 5 Naira Nigeria polymer note. And the 1985 10 dirham Morocco note are still available. Hey, Ben Stagan. Anybody on any of those notes? All right, World Silver Coins still available. 1938 10 francs from France. The 1944 and 1961 francs Switzerland. The 1953 5 francs Switzerland. 1937 shilling New Zealand. 1949 25-cent Canada. The 1923 1 gulden Netherlands, and all three of the Britons. 1941 3 pence, 1930 florin, and 1941 half crown. And then the 1944 D US 10 centavo USA Philippines. Anybody on any of the world silver? All right, the 1956 through the 58 Lincoln Wheat Cents, the Jim BU Reds are still available. Anybody on those? All right, and then, of course, the silver quarters. Richard is taking the bundle deal on the wheat cents. You got it, sir. Anybody else? Last call on everything. Last chance for bundles. All right, guys. Everybody, thanks for coming out. I'm going to get out of here. As always, give me a bit to get all of the invoices done up and sent out. All right, I did get his email good. All right. So everybody have a great night, and I will catch you next time. Glad you love it all.